Hello everyone, and welcome once again to this video series, which we hope will help you understand SAP's public cloud offering, SAP Cloud ERP. I'm Andrew Casey, and I'm your host for this series, which is brought to you by Leverage Technologies, a 20-year SAP partner specializing in ERP solutions. As part of imagining a better functioning world enabled by great technology, today we're going to look at how SAP Cloud ERP can simplify your everyday work, help grow your business, and assist in securing your future success. For this episode, we're going back inside SAP's Business Suite to the core Cloud ERP. Just a reminder of where we're up to so far. Today, we'll cover core distribution principles. If you haven't already viewed the first episode where we learned how to navigate Cloud SAP, I'd encourage you to start there, as we'll just be diving straight into actual transactions today and not covering basic concepts. Today, I'll cover off this standard process flow. Let's refer to it as the life of a sales order. I'm going to show you how we can raise a sales order if the goods are in stock, and from there, raise a delivery, bill it, and send the invoice out. I'll then repeat the process for a situation where there is no stock on hand, and so the sales order will require material requirements planning to raise a purchase order, receipt that purchase order, and then we'll do the delivery billing process. I'm aware that some viewers of this video series may have a perception that SAP Cloud ERP is too complex for their business, and I want to show you today how straightforward it is to use SAP Cloud ERP. Time now to follow the life of a sales order. So back to my Launchpad and going into the sales application. From here, I can go into looking at my list of sales orders, and I can see here the orders that I have been processing. A number of them are completed, a couple are open, but from here, we're going to create a new sales order. Open the application, and it says, well, what type of order would you like? And I'm just going to do a standard order, so we'll continue from there. And then we can turn around and identify who we are selling this particular product to. I can type part of the customer's name in. I can look up the customers. I'll use my customer number 2 for the moment, and I'll put their order number in my presentation system, and so I don't double up. I often just put the date like that, for example. And then we can turn around and choose the product or products that we're going to sell. Obviously, all of this advanced data has been pre-filled from when I put my actual customer in, so there's no need for me to go through any of this. I can go straight into starting to type in my product. Now, I can type in the product ID. As I did, I can start typing in part of the product name, and it will still find that particular product. I'm going to sell 3 of those. Thank you very much. And SAP will compute for me the cost, and it's now ready for me to put an additional line. So I can keep adding line after line after line as I want. Because my standard delivery is 7 days, then my availability will be confirmed later. And so you can see that my requested date is this, my confirmed date is going to be the 23rd. I can adjust days and change either the requested date or the confirmed delivery date as I need to. But for the moment, I'm just going to run it through in that manner. So fill in simply the customer, their order number, the product, and create the sales order. The sales order has been built, created, number 155. From here, if I'm a smaller company, shall we say, where the order entry person is also enabled to create the delivery, from here I can straight away go in and create the delivery and do the pack and pack. But quite often it's a company where another operator does that. And so there is the option to go through and create outbound deliveries. So I'll use that process for the moment. And you'll see that based on today's expected deliveries, then the document has come straight through for me and is ready for me to go in and create a delivery. So what this is actually doing is it's building for me the pick list. Okay, there may have been a list of sales orders there, and I would choose them onto the one pick list. And so from here, you'll see I have a list and it says just the one product in it, and it has created a delivery for me, number 72. And from there, I can pick the actual outbound delivery. So the picking process allows me to see all of the products. I can pick individual items. I can pick the whole list. In this case, there is only one. And I can confirm how many I did actually pick and say that that's fine. And I can then post the actual goods issue. So again, a simple process. Here's the pick list. Here's the goods issue. And if I have a look, for example, in the delivery output, here's the actual picking list the system generated for me to pick against if I did it manually. Could have done it using an RF gun. And here's the delivery note. So let's just have a quick look at one or more of those. So the pick list, if I was using bin locations, batches, it will come through and show me where I would find that product. And here I can identify that I filled in the actual picking quantity, for example. Again, it's also delivered a delivery docket for me. And so these are all just pre-formatted, ready for you. You can put your logo on them. You can then amend them to be the layout that you want. But a very simple process to go through, raise that sales order, create the delivery and pick it. And from there, you simply go into create the billing document for the day. And these are all of the billing documents that have been processed lately. Again, I could choose the lot, or I could just do today's one for the moment. Obviously, you can choose a range as well. So I'm keeping it simple, as I said. So I'm going to create the billing document, and I can see all the data around that. It shows me all my pricing. It shows me the process flow. The order was raised, it's been completed. The outbound delivery has been shipped. The invoice has been generating. So I save that particular process, billing document saved, and from there I can post it. So that will post that off into the general ledger. Now, that could have been done as a batch. I'm doing this as one step at a time so you can see the whole process go through the flow. If I go back to my sales orders and have a look at my listing again, you'll notice that that particular sales order has now been flagged as completed. And if I go into the detail, I can see everything to do with it, but it's just there. The job's been done. I can see the order confirmation was sent. All of the functions have been done automatically. Again, I can see my process flow. So a very, very simple process to do, not at all complicated for one or more people to be involved in your business. Now, the complication may come in if I don't have stock on hand. So let me go through that same process without showing you so much in detail where there is not stock in the business. So in my case, I know that for my standard order, same customer, different order number, of course. So who did we use? We used customer number 1, didn't we? It's the customer number 2 actually we used. And I'll give a new customer reference. Put a 1 on the end. And I will put in the actual product that I want this time. I'm going to use a piece of RAM, a RAM chip. Okay, I want 5 of those. And you'll see that it's unconfirmed. I have a look at the detail behind that. It's an MRP item because we don't have any dates, we don't have any product. And so what that's going to do is it'll still create that particular order, but it will effectively put it into a back order state. If I then go and have a look in the MRP side of things, material requirements planning, I can monitor my material coverage, have a look at what stock do I have, do I need for any given particular product. And here's my 32 gig RAM chip that I was going to sell. And I have a shortage today because I need 2. So if I have a look at that particular item and go in and have a look at the material, I can straight away see that I have a customer order there, one number 156, for 5 of those units. Now, I'm going to do a manual trigger of the MRP run and process this, but this could also be done completely in the background. So I'm showing it to you so you can see what it does. If I have it happening in the background, you might go, well, what did he do? How did that happen? So I'm just showing you manually. And so the system, because I have a customer demand, the system has said, well, as a minimum, you don't have safety stock requirements, you don't have any forecast, but I may have done, but I certainly have need of a purchase. So it creates a purchase requisition for me. I can edit that purchase requisition to increase the actual quantities. I can change the supplier if I want to, but it's defaulting to the standard supplier. I can delete it. But in this case, I'm going to convert it into a purchase order for those 5 units. And that now is a purchase order number 98. And if I go across to my purchasing records, go into purchasing, manage my purchase orders, you'll see that that purchase order there for my RAM chip has been created. And if I was to go in and have a look at it, what has happened, there's my 5 that I require. What has happened to it from a status perspective is that it's been released, it's been sent to the supplier, but it's not yet been delivered and it's not yet been invoiced. So I might just leave this screen here for a second, pop over here, and because it's a demo, I can do an instant goods receipt. So the goods have arrived for me and I can post a goods receipt for my number 98. I put the right number of zeros in, number 98. And you can see it can be using a scanner. It can be done using scanning or it can be done manually. I'm going to receipt all items, in my case, a single item. They've delivered 5. Now, they may have delivered less for some reason. They may have delivered more. If they've delivered less and they're not going to deliver more, I can specify that the delivery has been completed, 99 out of 100, for example. I can identify, this is all based on my standards, but I can change my storage location. I can put it into quality inspection. block stock, all those sort of things. I'm going to use it because I want to, so I'm just going to post that goods receipt. So put in the product code, confirm the quantity, post the goods receipt. Now, if I go back to my standard PO over here and I refresh that, apologies, go and refresh it, then you'll see that the quantity delivered is 5, so it's got a nice green bar to show me it's been completely done, and the value is identical. So there's my two-way match, and now I need to take my invoice in order to get my three-way match. So back over into my purchasing side of things, take my supplier invoice. I could be doing it as an upload. I could be doing it as a recording of a supplier invoice. I'll do it as a recording at the moment so you can see the details of what we're doing. I can put my invoicing party in. So in this case, I know that it was from my central supplier and put the date of the invoice. So I'm confirming all the details. What was the invoice number? And have a look at the actual, find the purchase order, 4598 that we ran it through against. And it will then bring in all of the details from the purchase order. And I can see it was 1050. Have a look at, I'll get some messages here to say, hang on a sec, it's not balancing. That's because I never put the gross amount in at the time. But once I put that in, I can balance that and then check if I need to that my sales order and my invoice is all balanced correctly. Everybody's happy. And so I can post that off into the system. So I don't want to create a new supplier invoice. What I want to do is go back into my purchasing side of things and have a look at that purchase order again. So I know I'm going in and out, but this is just to show you all of the things that are happening behind it as we go through. And then I have a look at my status, and you see now that I have quantities correct and value, invoices correct, invoice values correct. So two-way, then three-way matching all the way through, which means I now have the product in stock in the warehouse. So in the background, you normally would be running a back order process. In my case, I'm going to go through and just trigger that back order to run against that particular item. So pick up my sales order again, select the line that we know we didn't have the stock for, and that will allow me to do an availability check, which will look up the stock again and see that that stock has arrived. It's in the warehouse. I can now actually go through and sell that particular product. So from there, obviously, given that I did the process the same before, I can go through from here after I've saved that update to it and do my create outbound, rate my billing, and manage and pass the invoice through. I'll simply create the outbound delivery docket for you so that you can see that the stock's there. There's my 56, create my delivery and process it through by picking. So again, yes, you'd need to know how to run this process, but it is straightforward. It is not difficult whatsoever to actually go through and do this process for SAP and to get all of those posted into the system. So if I was to go back to my PowerPoint and just have a quick look at the process that we talked about doing. So you raise that sales order, you might need to raise a purchase order and invoke MRP to actually do that processing for you, but it's a straightforward process. You then can raise a delivery pick list, confirm the amount delivered, create a bill, and release the invoice to the customer. So extremely straightforward process. Now, whilst I've kept today straightforward as I promised, it would also be remiss of me not to mention that SAP Cloud ERP can also deliver many more functions, such as these I have listed here. Cloud ERP is delivered as a modular system based on what SAP calls scope items. There are currently more than 650 scope items available for Australia to be selected from. This enables us to ensure your business meets your current and your future needs. Whilst the scope items will meet most needs, there may be times though when your industry or your business needs just that little bit more, maybe something to ensure you keep your competitive advantage. Many times this can be created for you on an as-needs basis. As an Australian SAP partner, we have recognised some uniquely Australian distribution industry requirements, and we have used SAP's business technology platform to build solutions to meet those requirements. If you have a particular requirement, please reach out to us to discuss whether this need is met in the standard scope items, or if we can assist with building functionality specifically for you. Of note is that all such functionality is always built using the SAP Business Technology Platform, not affecting the core SAP solution, ensuring that you will continue to be able to take the twice yearly upgrades and always stay current on SAP Cloud ERP. I trust you found today's presentation informative and look forward to hosting you for more episodes soon. I've been Andrew Casey from Leverage Technologies, and I wish you a good day.